I'm John Kovach. I've been a newsman, a sports announcer, and a football coach, but the one constant, since I was old enough to stand next to a stream with my dad, has been fishing. I've waded rapids, stood on slick rocks, hacked through ice, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do, and join me on this journey. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. Good afternoon, everybody. John Kovach with you, Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop this Thursday, January 18th. A couple of big events this weekend. We're going to focus on one right off the bat here, and that is the 7th Annual Connecticut Surfcasters Association Demo Day. That will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that is at Clinton Town Hall, 54 East Main Street in Clinton. It's $5 to get in. There will be demos throughout the day from Connecticut Surfcaster Association members. There are going to be presentations. We'll have a link to this at our website, han.network. Go to shows, go to Yankee Fisherman. There will be a number of vendors there. It's a fascinating event. You'll see how lures are made. You'll talk to rod makers, and you'll learn about surf casting. I've enjoyed it. I plan to be there Saturday. About a year and a half ago, we caught up with Matt Lejeune, who we met through the Connecticut Surfcasters Association. And Matt is scheduled to do a presentation on getting started in surf casting. That is Saturday morning at 10:10 a.m. at Demo Day. Matt took some time to show us a little bit about how to get started. His presentation will be an expansion on that. But let's revisit our talk with Matt and learn about some of the equipment so you know what to look for if you want to get started in surf casting, and Demo Day is a great day to do that. John Kovach, Yankee Fisherman. We are in Madison, Connecticut with Matt Lejeune. We met Matt through the Connecticut Surfcasters Association. Matt is going to give us a little bit of a Surfcasters 101 lesson here. Tell us what gear we need to tackle casting off of the coastline of Connecticut in the Northeast. Matt, thanks for joining us. Quite a bit of stuff here.
Yes, there is. John, thanks for having me. Kind of wanted to do this talk for the club for a while, and because you get a lot of questions on various gear and what you need for the surfcaster. A lot of it goes hand in hand with safety in the surf, and just being comfortable while we're fishing.
And let's stress that right off the bat. You really can't scrimp on safety here. It's a bad place to get into trouble and get yourself into a place you can't get out of.
That's right. So first thing is, this is a set of breathable waders. They're stocking foot waders. They're going to keep me dry and not very warm in the surf. So underneath this, I actually have a set of fleece liners on, because right now the temperature is about 50 degrees, 52 degrees in the Sound.
And these are your standard breathable waders that you would wear to fish the Housatonic, the Saugatuck, anywhere you're going to wade.
Yep. So whether I'm trout fishing in freshwater or out in the surf for striped bass and bluefish, this is basically what I'm going to wear. And in the winter months, I'll actually double up I'll layer underneath just to keep my floor temperature up.
And let's stress too, you mentioned you're wearing fleece liners underneath these. It's about 70 degrees and going up. It's a bright sunny May day here in Madison. That water temperature is still 50s?
Yeah. So again, hypothermia is not a situation you're probably going to get into if you're dry. You might, if you spend a number of hours in the water, you'll feel yourself shivering, and your body will tell you that's the time to get out of the water. But yeah, basically I'll layer up even though it's nice and sunny out, it feels warm. It's always cooler on the coast, there's always wind, and the water temperature, like you said, is in the 50s still.
Now, you're wearing stocking foot, so there's going to be a boot involved.
Yep.
What do you got there?
So for my boots, these are both just standard wading boots, but they're felt bottoms, and they're called grip studs. They're installed in the bottom for traction on the rocks, and It's traction on most rocks. I would say there's really round ones that are kind of green in color that just seem to be the banana peels on the coastline. So I purposely leave this area blank of studs, and I'll step on those rocks with that because the felt seems to do the best job to maintain traction.
Now,
the next piece up the line is what I'm wearing right here. This is a wading belt. It's not a surf casting belt. You don't put your gear on it or anything like that. This is a wading belt, and it's meant to cinch down on your waist so that if you do fall in, you're only taking in a minimum amount of water up here, and it will trickle down. You'll feel it as you're getting out, but it's not as much as you would if you weren't wearing this piece of equipment. To go along with that, most surf casters, when they're wading in the surf, are wearing a dry top that has gasket system. This is a Guy Cotton dry top. It's kind of been the standard for years, and it's not a full seal, but it's a pretty strong seal. When you wear this is a neoprene gasket down here, and it cinches down using Velcro, so this will actually close in on your waist size.
So you can pull that to as tight as you want and lock it in with the Velcro, and the Velcro you're not going to have to fight with a zipper.
That way you're not having that water creep up underneath the waders, and it's also keeping an air seal. That air will actually keep the water from intruding. So if you do fall in, you'll actually be dry. If you cinch this down tight and you did it the right way, you could actually swim and not take on water. So that it has wrist gaskets and a neck gasket. This model has a nice utility pocket on the front. They do make a heavier model of this, and there's some other companies that have similar ones. And kayak tops are quite similar as well. When it's colder out and I'm not wading as deep, in the, like let's say the fall or even this early season, we've had some nights drop into the 40s, maybe the upper 30s. But this is a Storm R top. It's neoprene. I think it's 2.5 millimeters. It's fleece lined. This sheds water. So it's waterproof from rain. It's got a hood built in, which is nice. And then what I really like is these big, beefy PVC zippers. We're in the salt, so guess what? There's rust and oxidation, and it affects every piece of gear we own. So this is nice because it's so big. Even if you get pieces of sand in there, that zipper will still go over it, and it's not going to rust and lock up on you and fall apart. So this is nice for those cold nights. And then, I mean, for the most part, honestly, I'm using this so I'm not wading. Try not to wade deep, or try not to get myself into too dangerous of a situation. But this is just a rain jacket. It's made by Gauge. It's got the same bigger PVC zipper on it. It's got a couple mesh pockets so they drain. It's got wrist gaskets, so if I reach in the water and land a fish, my undergarments aren't getting wet.
So really we're trying to seal any potential opening, the waist, the wrist, the neck.
Right.
The more we can seal those, the better we're going to be if we're in the water.
Absolutely. So at that point, with this one, I really am only relying on the wader belt. I'm not relying on a secondary system like the surf top has to really seal myself out. But again, like I said, I'm trying to not get into situations where I might put myself in danger.
And then if it's really cold, I suppose you could totally go head to toe?
Well, I layer. I'll use this underneath this, or I'll put that underneath this. So it's really about layering. Maybe I'll ditch my cap for a winter cap, something that's fleece or neoprene. And so yeah, I guess that takes care of wading safety and what we have for gear. I do wear gloves. I definitely wear gloves on every single outing. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you want to get the bass rash on your thumb and all that, but really I can grab onto rocks. I can cast as hard as I want. It's not going to split my finger open, so I don't have to waste time taping it every time, or if I lost the tape or rolled out of the truck or something. These are $5 at Home Depot. They actually they'll grip one eel before you can't put another eel on. But
waterproof?
They're not waterproof. They do take the sting out. It's just enough layer and wind protection to keep your hands a little bit warmer. And what's nice is they're real thin. It's enough dexterity to still tie a knot at night. And I'm not pulling this off and trying to find a place to put them. I can still retie if I need to. If I am going to layer, I would stay away from cotton. I would use like a dry wicking fabric. Under Armour fabrics are nice. And any of those dry fit, the same tops that the surfers wear. They're nice, they're form-fitting, it helps you get in and out of your gear. And that actually transfers nicely into the wetsuiting. So a portion of my year is only waders because it's drier, it's warmer, it's easier to get in and out of. But a good portion of my year is in the wetsuit. And really, if you had to take bull situations where you're fishing in waders and then you put a wetsuit on, you're now safer. I think you're safer in terms of hypothermia. I think you're safer in terms of, you know, falling in and getting into trouble. It's buoyant, which could be a good or bad thing. Sometimes you want the extra weight in a current. Might push you off something that you'd be fine in waders. So it's definitely a consideration when you're getting into wetsuiting, is to take your time and get comfortable with how the suit reacts with the water, and just build yourself a basic knowledge of, you know, where you've usually fished in waders and how it's different in the wetsuit.
And when will you make that transition to wearing the wetsuit? Is there a time of year, or?
Sometimes it's temperature, sometimes it's time of year and where I want to fish. Right now I'm still concentrating on the river systems, so I'm not really looking to take this out quite yet.
And how are those sized? Is it your standard small, medium, large, extra large, double X? Or?
Yeah, they have large talls and everything. So if you're going to go try to get a wetsuit, don't just order one online based on the measurements. Your best bet is to go to a store, a dive shop, and get fitted for these, or a surf shop and get fitted for these. What is nice right now is the wetsuits do have newer materials that are just super flexible. I mean, this suit is like a triple stretch fabric. You know, it's got a ton of movement, and the way this one's built is it's double stitched and blind taped, and what that means is it's actually a full seal. It's on the inside and the outside. And this suit, if I wear the gaskets so the smooth side is against my wrist, I actually won't get water. I won't get wet in the suit at all. And this suit's fleece lined as well.
That'll extend your day if you stay dry and warm.
Yeah, so it's a thin layer of fleece. It's a little bit warmer. It's rated 4.3, but it's probably a little thinner in terms of neoprene material. But this is going to be my suit for almost the whole year. And again, same thing. So the dry fit clothing for both my top and the bottoms is going to be what I'm going to wear in the wetsuit, because it prevents chafing, it prevents irritation. It's easy on, easy off.
All right, now we're suited up. Let's take a look at what you need on top before you go surf casting.
Okay.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Walter Stewart's Market is your destination for the best big game fixings. From our house-made fresh guacamole and dips to chili, chicken wings, pulled pork potato skins, risotto balls, and take-and-bake house-made specialty pizzas. Combined with a selection of the best craft brews, Stewart's is your one-stop big game shop. Stop into Walter Stewart's Market, conveniently located at 229 Elm Street in New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. SCAP Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. Call, click, or stop in today. Save thousands at the 2018 Auto Show event and start something new sales event. Now through January 31st.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Base Star and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to coastalorthoct.com. Like them on Facebook.
We're back with Matt Lejeune. We're in Madison, Connecticut. We're doing a little Surfcast in 101 in terms of gearing up, because it's crucial that you have the proper gear for surf casting. You're really exposing yourself to the elements, probably more so than any other form of fishing. We've gone over the clothes that you wear. Now we're going to gear up over top, work on our way to rods. Matt, you've got quite the pack and belt set up there.
I do. Mine's definitely more elaborate than most guys, but it's what I like. I'm a land surveyor by trade, and all day long I'm carrying around about 30 pounds of stakes and a 6-pound sledge, a frost pin, and that wears into my shoulder. And so on my belt I actually wear a set of suspenders on it. It just gives me more contact points for the gear, and it doesn't weigh me down as much. Like we started with before, we talked about safety in the surf and how, you know, the gear we're wearing keeps us warm and dry, which is an important part. But we also need to see at night. A lot of our fishing's at night, so we use headlamps. This is a nice one. It's got a red lens and a white lens, so you can preserve your night vision, and use the white one for walking around on, you know, rocks and uneven ground in the surf. So this is waterproof. I carry one of those, you know, I wear one of those, and I also usually carry one in my gear bag. So
a second headlamp?
Always have to have a second one. I didn't bring it today, but I do have another waterproof dive light that I wear on a lanyard around my neck. I haven't broken that out this year yet, so it's still at home in storage. The secondary thing for safety, we all carry knives in the surf because there's discarded line, there's rope, You could get caught on something and tangled up and not know it. You could be standing there for a while casting before you realize that you're in trouble. And so a good dive knife. This is a low carbon steel knife. There's others available in titanium, relatively cheap, and I like this one because it's got a blunt tip. It's not going to poke me if I drop it, or poke me when I'm wetsuiting. And this is also a fixed blade, so after it's out, it's ready to go. I don't tie this off on a lanyard because I want full range of movement, and I don't want that lanyard to be something that prohibits me from getting the knife to where it needs to go.
Do they make floatable knives? Is that something that's available, or generally you're leashed to a lanyard in terms of making sure you don't drop it?
You probably could attach a float to it, but that'd be another thing dangling around on your body.
Right.
I've done a lot of different things on my belt setup to actually eliminate coil lanyards. We always use coil lanyards for everything. You know, whether it was your pliers, your fish gripper, maybe your camera. Now I'm only using retractables. So for example, this is my plier sheath. It has a built-in retractable. So, you know, it's available at my side, and it just extends out. I can tend to the fish, and then it'll retract back, and it's out of the way. And it's really tight to my body, so I'm not gonna get that hung up on anything, a rock, a barnacle, or whatever. Another retractable that I use on the back is for my boga grip. It's attached on one side of the belt, and it just retains the butt. So this retracts out. I can grab a fish, and there's actually enough tension in the retractor that I can now let this go on the fish's lip in the water, put my rod away, so now I'm two hands, and now I can go back and tend to the fish. This is a 24-ounce retractor. It's enough to actually pull up the boga, which is nice because it won't sit down in the water if you're up on a rock at night. And then so I just grab that on D-ring. It sits flat across my back.
There you go.
There's one more retractor that I use, and that's the one I use when I put my bag on, but I'll go ahead and put the belt on here first. So on my surf bag, I have another clip that's detachable. I do still use the shoulder strap, so that goes over everything else. And then on the back side of my belt, I have another retractor if I can find it. And I just clip this in.
So everything's now all one piece.
So it's tight to my body. This is important in two situations. One is when I'm wetsuiting. If I am swimming to a rock, my bag's not floating away or dangling and falling around underneath me. It's staying right against my back. So it keeps me nice and compact in the water. When I pull myself up onto that rock, my bag's not getting caught on the rock itself, or any kind of crevice or jammed in between a couple rocks. And then the other scenario is if I'm landing a fish, I can put my rod in here in this little D-ring or O-ring. Now I have two hands. When I bend over, my plug bag is not going to swing around and smack me in the face, which has happened when I forgot to put it on the clip.
Anytime we can avoid not getting hit in the face,
that's important too. That's all part of safety. So,
and that bag that's over your shoulder now, that's all your plugs and any of the terminal tackle that you'll need.
Yep. So I just flip it around like this when I'm on the rock. Bag goes open, I just tuck the flap under the shoulder strap, and then I can search and find my next plug. So in here I've got a variety of plugs, foldable tape measure, and then in the front pouch I have a leader wallet with pre-tied leaders. I don't put the leaders in bags because it actually increases how fast they rust. Like if you're using the clips, or if you use a swivel on the other end to attach to your main line, it'll rust faster if it's in a bag. So I just leave them loose in there. You know, you tie them up at home. You can tie a whole bunch for the whole winter, and then just take them as you need them if you need to restock. And then also in here, I've got some smelly jelly, and then some more leaders snelled onto hooks for eels. So that's my bag. And then on the other side, this is like a multi-purpose bag. So I got some extra eel hooks in here. And then in the main compartment, sometimes I carry extra plugs, sometimes I carry soft plastics. I'll put my rigged eels in here, or maybe I'll even get it extra smelly and put bunker chunks in there. But that about covers everything, except for this eel bag.
That would be for live, I would assume?
Yep, so live eels go in there. I just got it on a clip. You know, I'll use that same D-ring in the back.
That you will allow to dangle in the water so that they
it'll sit on my backside, so that if there are any waves, which usually in the Sound there aren't, it's not going to beat up the eels with them sitting behind me. But then this cinches down and helps prevent escapees.
We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, right after this. Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We want to thank Matt Lejeune again. Matt will be among the presenters when the Connecticut Surfcasters Association holds its 7th annual Demo Day, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is at Clinton Town Hall in Clinton. Lots of stuff if you're interested in surf casting. Another big event this weekend. First time that I think it's being done around here. It's called Barflies. It's a fly tying event. It's being hosted by Candlewood Valley Trout Unlimited, and that's going to be Saturday, as we said, from noon to 3 p.m., and that's at the Meeting House Pub in Bethel. You can come. You can take your fly tying gear, demo a fly. You can hang out, learn about fly tying, or you can just have an adult beverage should you so choose. Information on that is available at cvtu.org. And the Fly Fishing Film Tour is coming back to Connecticut. 2 shows we'll be talking about on that on next week's show. The first Friday, February 2nd at the Trumbull Marquise and BTX Theater. The second on Friday, February 23rd at the Stamford Majestic. Doors open at 7 o'clock for each show. Tickets are $25 online. 30 at the door. They can be purchased at the websites for the Mianus, Nutmeg, or Candlewood Valley chapters of Trout Unlimited, and all of the proceeds will support local conservation and education projects. That's going to do it for this week's show. Should be a warm weekend. We going to do demo day, we hope. Hope to be out filming a little fishing because it might be a little bit spring-like. Hopefully you get out too. If you do, tight lines.